Alright. 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 This is my rank up in the gold. I haven't hit gold since June, and I'm back. I mean, I first hit gold in season 15 in June. Oh, a little into June. Now I'm back. After I fell out. It only took a whole bunch of games. I originally hit gold after like 800 games. Easy. It was at least an easy 800 games where I just like, I don't know what the hell is going on with me. Like, it was like a brain fart or something. Like, I fell back to, I kept falling back to bronze. Like, I couldn't win a game, no matter how much I tried. I was using I was like, you know what my problem was? It's my mentality. I was relearning the game because I only played Proxy Singed. I never played a Singed another way besides Proxy. So when anyone and everyone was trying to shut me down in the game, like I'd have like 4 people chasing me every game when I was proxying. I would have like the enemy mid try to cheese me when I was proxying. Like because I'd always run to through the enemy jungle. So the mid started at the start of the game would run through me the way I was running. They would I think the jungler would ward in a certain spot that would make it impossible for me to run to the enemy jungle. So they would just snipe me. That's what I think at least. And then yeah, see what I did there, where I tried to fling them into the turret, and then I goo them instead of gooing and then flinging them like I normally do. And the reason why I do that is so they get slowed down. I don't want them stuck in one position, because it actually has a shorter slow than otherwise. Because the maximum slow actually happens at the start, and it wears off over time. So when you goo fling someone, it's actually like 20 frames or so where where the goo is visible, but it actually is not. It's not visible. It's like the circle is there, but it's not doing the maximum amount of on the slow. Like if you just raw fling them and then goo them, they'll be slow longer. So the Briar tries to gape me, and I fling the Yasuo into the turret, tanking the Q, the empowered Q, and then the Briar, and I flash so I don't die to the bleed / auto attacks. For some reason he didn't ping my flash. I noticed that. I think it was because you could only when you die at a certain time, you can't always ping all the options that happen. Only I know it's rare, but sometimes I won't see people's flashes when it's like, I think it's a bug, but sometimes I do. After I'm dead, I'll still see abilities being used in the death menu, where the recap for the death is and damage and stuff. It's weird. So I want him to not be on top of me. So I'm just trying to keep my goo on top of me, so when if he does E into me, it will slow him. or prevent his ult from going off. So when he hit, because now he's gonna hit level 6 soon. So I want to keep him from using his ult on cooldown as much as possible. Because the thing about Yasuo's ult, it has armor pen, and it has it's basically a stun. So a knock-up, stun, whatever you want to call it. It's a knock-up, but it's basically it keeps you from using your abilities. So what I want to do is I want to keep him. See how slow? Look how short that is. The duration of the Goofling is. It only lasts like half a second, where he can't do anything, but there's no slow attached to it. Because he's immobile for the entire time of the slow. There's no slow. So the slow doesn't. But see how long it's like 3 seconds when he walks through the goo. That's why Goofling doesn't feel so all the time. Doesn't feel the best option all the time. That's why I purposely don't Goofling every time on the cooldown. At least anymore. Because I want them to be slow. I don't want him to be stunned. So I want to keep him from being sit in the middle of my minion wave. Because he can just dance around hitting me for free through the minions. So I'm just trying to dodge his auto attacks and Qs while not getting hit by the whirlwind. Now, here's the thing with Yasuo. The people that play Yasuo are really aggressive. So most of the time they'll always ult on cooldown. So what happens is they think you're gonna get killed, but with Protoplasm, they can't tell when they can get the kill. So what happens is I build Protoplasm first. So I don't have it right now, but on my next pack I buy Protoplasm. And my team is basically the Nasus and the Akali are just like running, and Blitz are just constantly dying in this game. I mean, I have a couple deaths. I have like 4 deaths in the whole game. But it feels like those 4 deaths were at least 2 of them could have lost us the game. And that's how easy it is to lose a game of League of Legends nowadays. Because the turrets die so easily. Way easier than they used to be. And now you get millions of vision. So I want him to come to me, or at least avoid me, and avoid the minions. So he gets to sit inside my minion wave, and he can't just dash around and dodge the W's and my flings. So here I try to keep the Yasuo at bay and get the Briar. I'm trying to get the Briar as low as possible, which should have been easy. But my team, for some reason, is fighting the Zed. The Zed could just he just shadows out using his Shadow Jutsu to get out of dodge. So I run all the way mid. I'm trying to pretend like I'm not going, and I run over a ward that I knew that was there, just so he would start backing off. Then I just take the wave, or what's left of it. My team gets 2 of the 3 groups because the Briar stole one. Well, yeah, it was basically stolen. It should have said stolen. And the Blitz, oh my god, this Blitz was making me rage. Like, that death is it's so like they keep pulling the Camille into themselves. The Camille just can just auto auto, and it takes like 50% of the Blitz's health because it's like half of it's like true damage. So the Blitz keeps thinking that they walk into the Camille and the Zed and the Yasuo every time all the time. Like they get me killed a couple times. 2 of my deaths came from the Blitz, at least. And then I try to be sneaky here and try to fling them into my goo. But I missed it, so I just back. Even though I get a level up off this, I don't think I could live an Ignite. So I back and run all the way top. And the Nasus Q's, E's, W's the Yasuo. And it's an easy kill. But here's the problem with the Nasus. He's taking all these naked kills, solo bolos, of the Briar, of the Yasuo, and we're not getting any assists really. I mean, I got a lot of assists, but half the Nessa's kills were not even giving any gold to the team. Like I think the early on ones, in some of the later ones, are, but like because the Yasuo thinks they could, fight the Nasus because they're slightly higher level. The Yasuo is just like running in and dying all on cooldown. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna run you around like a bull in a china shop. I'm just like letting him run into me. And he's trying to hit me, he's trying to ult me. And he's like, this is when he gets mad. Watch this. He cues me, knocks me up. He thinks he could ult me. He thought he killed me there. And then my health goes back up to 30%. That's from the protoplasm. If it would have been more if I ulted earlier, but because the way the protoplasm works, if you don't have the armor, you don't get the bonus, extra bonus healing. And without my ult, it only heals up to like 20 to 30%. Depending on depending on how much armor you in match resist, and I didn't take any bonus in my runes besides unflinching. So I don't think he knocked me up, so I didn't get the bonus armor and match resist from unflinching, and my ult wasn't up, so it didn't give me that. It only gave me like 20%. And then I teleport bot lane to get then we get the dragon, since we couldn't get any of those earlier on. I wanted to prevent them to get soul from getting soul, and the Zed was in prime set up to steal the dragon, so I teleport bot lane to get the dragon. And I secured the dragon. I then hit their ward, their pink ward. And then I go back top to make sure I get the next objective. Because the only thing that's left is Baron for now. And that's gonna be spawning. It should have spawned already. So I ghost and my ult. I fling him back into my poison. Nasus withers him, but it's a little too late. He Qs, and then I fling him back, and then he secures the kill. The problem with he got the plus 12, and I got the assist. But my colleague gives a shutdown to Ziggs. And Ziggs has been running rampant on this whole map. Ziggs and Camille and Zed and Briar and Yasuo are just those annoying champions. Ziggs can push down turrets like nothing. Camille can just one-shot you if you don't have enough resistances and health. And Zed can just snipe anyone that's glass cannon. And then Briar is just Briar. They can ult me full of screen. And I just goo them, and then I fling them to keep them off me. So my protoplasm procs, I still have enough health, so I can just run out like nothing. So I'm back to almost 50%. That's why I take protoplasm. You know, even though it seems like a good idea to get like Rylai's first, or Bandle Pipes first, if I get protoplasm first, they always feel like they think they get a kill when they're autoing me. And I goofling. It was about I think that was like the longest goofling I got that game. This game, where it feels like it actually, because the thing is, W scales with levels. So at 2 in W is basically a full 3 seconds. 4 or 5 seconds? It's slow. And so early on, the goofling, a level 1 goo is only like 2 point something seconds. 2.45 seconds? Was it 2 or 3? It was either 2 or 3 seconds. About 2.5 seconds. I have to go look it up, but it was like something like, it's, I don't know. Does it go with levels? For 3 seconds. Oh, it doesn't scale. Okay. Oh, it goes up by 50, 55, 60, 65, and 70%. Okay. So yeah, so the slow doesn't matter until it's at 70%. When it's at 5 in the, because when you get that 70% slow, that's when it matters. And that's you don't get that until you're level 20. And I don't hit level 20 in this game. But yeah, 2 points in W, it feels like a way different game. 55% slow even with a tenacity rune. That because the tenacity rune is like 10% reduction. 15 or it was either 15 or 10%. If they take I think the match resist boost, it's like 40% reduction. To 45% damage reduction. So it's like it basically cuts in half. Let's say that if you get the blue boots and the rune, the nasty rune. So it roots for 2 seconds. Yeah, see, that's why I don't like the root, because it roots for 2 seconds. The slow is for 3 seconds. So there's like a 1 second. You only get to slow for 1 second. So you root them for 2 seconds, and you get a slow for 1 second. When you need the, sometimes this raw dogging W gives you the full slow. So if they have like some kind of tenacity or any kind of tenacity, and you use the 2 second root, it's basically gone. And I fling them into the Akali and the turret, and they get died to the ignite from Akali. The Yasuo, I mean the Rammus, Rammus, that was the previous game. The Nasus kills the Briar again. I mean, they were getting a whole bunch of kills on the Briar, but at the same time, the Blitz and the Nasus were putting us in positions of losing every time. They were like, we got look at this. Blitz pulls up the Zed, and then they flee. They get a kill on the Zed and the Camille. And then they teleport into us. They kill the. Oh, excuse me. That's something in my throat. The Ziggs gets a double kill, which shouldn't have happened. I don't know why the Nasus and the Blitz stayed like that, and the Blitz pulled the Ziggs into himself when he was at 1 HP, and basically killed himself, and he got the Nasus killed because the Nasus was sitting around waiting for the Blitz to pull the. I don't know why they seem like they were on some kind of like wavelength where they kept, like, the Blitz would pull the Briar perfectly, and then the Nasus was there to get the kill every time. It's like they're almost like they were queuing the other. See, I don't understand why normally, because they changed the coding of the goo thing, the adhesive, to be a ranged ability. It would normally be eaten by Yasuo windshield, but for some reason it wasn't doing that. I think unless they see that it changed it. They must have changed the way adhesive works, because normally that would be eaten up by the wind wall, and it gets reflected. Normally it gets reflected. It gets reflected by Mel too. So Mel's W reflect the wind wall. I mean, not wind wall. The adhesive goo. They can reflect it. And normally it should be eaten up by Yasuo's wind wall. Normally it is, but some reason for those last 2 times, no. I was like, what the hell's going on? And because I've played this matchup like a million times against Yasuo, because everyone, for some reason, in bronze and iron and bronze and silver and iron and bronze, there's millions and millions of Yasuos queuing up, running it down. They'd go like 0 and 20 sometimes, and I fling the Camille. I tanked the Ziggs ult. I tanked the Camille ult. I tanked the Briar ult, and I finally died to the Briar bleed and auto attacks. I thought I could like pull the Briar away from Dragon, then so we get like the Dragon, but for some reason my team all dispersed and let the Briar solo the Dragon with not solo, but they just let him take it free instead of trying to fight for it. Even though we were in position to take the Dragon, my team just didn't want to take the dragon. They just walked out and went top the bot lane, and then they gave up a free dragon. And they this is where, you know, normally if it was in like low silver, like my team would just like, oh no, we're gonna give up soul. We better fight for that tooth and nail for the soul. But no one cared. Like literally, no one cared about the soul. I'm like, I'm trying to ping the dragon, and I'm like, all right. I teleport the dragon or to the enemy team, thinking that my team would start up dragon, and they don't. They try to fight, and then Blitz gets killed, and I run top, thinking that I could bait out like an ult, and I take some fruits and I just like heal up, and then I'm like trying to get the Camille. And I didn't get the thing off. I see the board, so I run. And then I just like feint to go mid, and then go top, and then go mid again. I saw that board. I saw the Kali. She ints the Yasuo. I like, oh shit, and I goofing, and I run. I try to get the Camille and then I somehow live at 1 HP. Like I just ran right through. I flung the Camille out of her ult so I could escape, and then Briar latched on. The Briar latched on to someone else instead of me, and they died. I think they died. I think it was the Sivir or the Kali. Yeah, it was a Kali. I don't know. It was the Silver. It latched onto the Sivir and killed the Sivir, but the Nasus got the kill on the Sivir. I think they Sivir traded with the Briar. Yeah, I'm not gonna go back. Actually, let's go back. Yeah, it was a Briar and a Silver. And the Nasus. The Nasus got the kill. Let's put it back on Singed. I'm bot lane. Because that was my goal, to hit bot lane. I hit it up. Make sure to get the minions pushed. See, what the thing is, I'm trying to set up because of the Baron. I figured that my team's going to start moving toward the Baron because the enemy teams are probably going to move to the Baron. So I think my team's gonna follow suit. Normally they're gonna start Baron, but I'm just like moving up. I get the ward, replace it with my own, and I run mid. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hold mid. I'm gonna hold the enemy mid so my team can start a Baron. I get ulted by the Camille, and then I flash out, I ghost. And I'm like ulted and ghosted, and I run up to the Baron and I secure it at the last second, and I'm trying to back, but then the Blitz for some reason pulls the Camille. I do fling, and then gets ulted by the Briar, and gets killed. The Kali gets killed by the Zed, and the Ziggs kills the Blitz. I goofing the Yasuo. And then the Briar hits me. I got the slow off on the Briar, but it wasn't, you know, my team is like sprinting away from everyone else. Like they're just running for their lives. What's left of them? Sivir and Nasus is like ulting and on cooldown. Sivir is actually good. I think the best players on my team were the Sivir and the Nasus, and then the Akali. The Akali was okay. The problem with my team was that. Alright. The problem with my team was that we couldn't get objectives because of the Nasus. He was never in a position to get the objectives, really, most of the time. Like, we got that. That was the dragon that prevented Soul. And then the Camille ults the Akali. And then I chase after them, trying to flank the Camille after they killed the Akali. And then the Blitz and I not mess with the Camille. And then I run in, tank the turret, I goo them, I throw adhesive on them, then I ult, and then I run in, get the turret, and turn this game that looked like like a clown fiesta half the time. Well, almost all the time. The Blitz kept fucking, sprinting. The Nasus was trading, like, not in a good way. Like, if the jungle is trading kills, that's bad. If like a top laner trades kills, it could be good. Because usually you're taking out like the other top laner most of the time, or the jungler. If either of them die, we get prio on objectives. So like we need to have the jungle up all the time, basically. Even though he has so few deaths, like he has about the same amount of deaths that I do. But every time he died, it put us in bad positions. So it's like it basically making the game harder. Well, if I die, it's like, yeah, I'm just singed. So I goo the Yasuo, and I fling the Ziggs, force them to use Zhonya's, and then they try to sit on a turret, and the Yasuo ults me, and I'm still alive. I take like 5 turret shots, at least, and the protoplasm kept me alive. And I fling the Camille, and then the Briar almost tries to kill me, and then I run away just so I could kite them, and that was the whole game. It was like, there was moments where I thought I was gonna die when I wasn't ready to die, and then other times where I was ready to die, I didn't die. But yeah, that's how what Protoplasm does for Singed. It's like, let's think of it like a second ult. It's basically Mundo's level 1 ult on a 40-second cooldown. So it could turn any fight around. Alright. Peace out.